What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Game week 17 drawing to a close. It's already time with all these Christmas fixtures to look ahead at my game week 18 team selection. Welcome back everyone, it is time for my game week 18 team selection. We'll be looking at potential transfers, anything I've confirmed so far, key talking points, captaincy, everything like that going into game week 18 of FPL. Before we do a review of how I've got on so far in game week 17, I am recording very much before the Manchester City game, so I have of course got Haaland left and Cancelo, hopefully some points from them, but nothing for Kevin De Bruyne, who is a big threat to my rank. I'm going out this evening, so I do want to get this video up for you all to update you on what I'm doing with my team, but I can't record after the game this evening, which is why I'm doing it before. So far the game week has been very good to me. I'm on 77 points, which has given me a nice green arrow to 35k up to about 15k. I'm expecting a drop with the ownership of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne down to about 20k. The midfield is really where all the points have come from. We've had goals from all of them, so Saka, Martinelli, Salah, Mason Mount and Marcus Rashford as well, all have come in with a goal in game week 17. Fantastic return from them. Of course, in defence we do have Kieran Trippier, who did well, and Kepa in goal, both returning good points for me. Up front, Darwin didn't get anything, and then Reece James as well. The key talking point for me is what I'm going to do with Reece James, and I'm sure it is for a lot of you as well. I plan on rolling my transfer going into game week 18, and I'm just not going to be able to do that. Bench was correct. No one on my bench really scored any points, so pretty happy with how game week 17 has started. So I was going to roll my transfer as I discussed in my transfer plans video, and that discussed a little bit in more detail about what I might want to do with my team a little bit further down the line. However, FPL is always going to be FPL, and it's going to throw a spanner in the works of your planning, which means I'm actually quite happy that I decided to start with Bukayo Saka as my fifth midfielder, because I didn't really want to book in a transfer early on and moving someone into Saka once I knew how Arsenal were going to perform. So happy that I started with them, because the spanner did come, and that was of course Reece James. I'm going to wait for any confirmation on the Reece James injury, but I think it's unlikely he's going to be fit for game week 18 or game week 19 as well. And even if he is fit for game week 19 with the recurring injury, I can't see him starting more than one of those. But as I said, I think he's going to be out for a fair few number of weeks. So the fixtures we've got there are not bad, which is why we started with him, but I am going to have to sell him. And not many of us have any money in the bank like me. One free transfer and just 0.1 million to spend on a Reece James replacement means I'm likely to have to downgrade him. If he didn't have Kieran Trippier, he'd be the number one option I would go with, but of course he's already in my team. I'd also definitely be looking at an Arsenal defender, although their fixtures on the horizon are not that great. Having an Arsenal defender in your lineup feels like something that should be almost essential. So again, I've already got Ben White and double Arsenal midfield, so I'm not going to be moving for one of those. But if you guys don't have that Arsenal attacker or that Arsenal defender in your team and you have a spare Arsenal slot, then I would definitely be buying one of them in. In terms of the options I am looking at, the first one is Botman of Newcastle. Trippier being my only Newcastle option in my team basically means I don't profit at all when Newcastle continue to perform well. So I am looking at adding another Newcastle option in there. The fixtures are okay. There's Leeds at home and Fulham at home in the next 4, and there are no double game weeks on the horizon for them, is the sort of counterpoint that I've got for him there. I could move elsewhere in Chelsea. You could go for one of the centre backs, but Cucurella at the left back spot does look quite nailed and is looking pretty good going forward. Without Reece James, he might get some set pieces as well, or they might fall to Mason Mount in there. Of course, Chelsea do have the double in game week 19, which is one of the main reasons I decided to own Reece James. Cucurella does as well rotate quite well with the other defenders I've got. The only issue is how long Ben Chilwell is going to be out for, because when Chilwell comes back, it will play a bit of an issue with the minutes that we're likely to see from Cucurella. And the final option in defence is probably the one I feel like I'm most leaning towards, and that is Luke Shaw. He played at left centre back in game week 17 for them, but I do think he'll go back to left back and be nailed in there over Malacia at that left back spot. The opening fixtures are okay. Next 2 of Wolves and Bournemouth are good. It then gets a little bit more difficult in game week 20 and 21, but with those game weeks likely to be double game weeks, I do have some options on my bench I could start over Luke Shaw. Again, Manchester United defensively do look really strong, and that was even without Martinez, who of course is still celebrating the World Cup, so I only think they're going to get stronger defensively when he does return. Their opening fixtures are good, but again, there are some difficult ones in there which might be putting a few of you off. It depends how short term you need to be looking when you are going to be buying a defender. For me, Shaw is probably the number one option I'm looking at. If you don't have an Arsenal defender, I'd probably go there instead. Just before we dive into the next part of the video, a quick reminder that we are getting very close to the end of December, where I'm raising money for a fantastic charity called Action for Children. 50% of all ad revenue, so just viewing this video, is donating money to charity, and 100% of all your donations, whether that's super chats like we raised during our previous live streams, whether that's thanks on the bottom of the video, however you want to support, we are trying to help a fantastic cause this December. So just like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to get those extra views, or if you do feel generous, feel free to donate. It is a fantastic charity helping a lot of vulnerable children and families this December. So in terms of my game week 18 lineup, as it stands, we'll line up like this. It's a 3-5-2 formation. Of course, you've got Reece James orange flagged in there. Haaland is likely to be captain. We've got pretty nice fixtures. Now, in terms of Reece James and what I'm going to do with him, I could start Ben White, who's currently on my bench and has Brighton away, but my issue is I'm likely going to have to sell Reece James anyway, because I don't see he's going to be back anytime soon and be in a fit place to be consistently relied upon in my FPL team. So I do think I'm going to have to sell Reece James. Now, I could keep him for this week, wait a week, look at some of the other defenses in the league, like Spurs, for example, who do have a double in game week 20. Some nice fixtures going on the horizon. If it's going to be Perisic, Doherty, who I could go on, but they've burnt me so much already this season. I think I'm going to stay clear and go with a cheaper asset. I do think I'm going to make a transfer before the game week 18 deadline. I haven't confirmed it yet, but I do think that Luke Shaw is going to be entering into my team. 4.8 million. I'll only go up. Again, a clean sheet in game week 17 for them. I think they're a solid defense with the amount of players they've got back now. That defense looks really assured. Casemiro as well in midfield. They look like a really strong team, and I think they will do well over the next sort of 10 game weeks or so. On top of that, it then adds another defender. Like I said before picking my game week 17 team, I want to pick defenders that I'm just happy to have in my team every week and not really worry about rotating them on fixtures, having defenses that I can think can keep clean sheets no matter who they're playing against. I've got that in Manchester City, I've got that in Newcastle, I've got that in Arsenal, and then I'm going to have that in Manchester United as well. Now, this transfer has not been confirmed, but I'm pretty certain this is going to be the move. I will confirm it again, deadline stream on Twitter, on YouTube, comments, and on Discord as well. So that is my team selection. Again, it's not that much. When we get more game weeks into the future, there might be more to talk about, but I do think I'm going to have to use my transfer. I didn't want to. I thought I'd get to roll it, but I do think I'm going to be able to move Reece James on to Luke Shaw, predicted transfer. So that is my lineup. Captain on Haaland. Let me know any questions about your team, any comments about my team, any other Reece James replacements that you're considering that I'm not going with, anything of that nature. Drop all your questions in the comment section. While you're down there, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We are raising money for a fantastic charity called Action for Children during the month of December, so anything you can do to support the channel is a great way to help that charity this winter. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe before you go. Good luck in game week 18 when it does come, if I don't see you before then, but I will be back again very soon.